Hey friends, Kevin here, your Sacramento Stockton area realtor and lender, here with this week's weekly real estate report. I've got something on my mind here. Unfortunately, I just got done communicating with one of my buyers, and if you've been watching my show, you know I love first-time home buyers and I love helping them and getting them into homes, and I'm always concerned about where the price of homes are. So anyway, this is how the conversation went. I have this buyer who I really like, and she's very excited. And she says, Kevin, I just found this awesome home. I can't believe the price. You know, can we take a look at it? It's only $199,000 for this nice 3-bedroom, 2-bath home. And I'm like, okay, $199,000 for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. What's going on? Look it up. It's a beautiful home. It really is. But here's the deal. It's an auction with the starting price of $199,000. Now, what really kind of irritates me is this house has been on the market for a long time. They had it listed like $425,000, then they dropped it a little bit, and then they go down to $375,000, and then they go back up to $399,000, and the thing doesn't sell. Why? Because it's overpriced. I looked up an AVM, which is an automated valuation model, which is it's an online appraisal, if you will, quick and dirty, but they're usually pretty close in an area of like homes, which this one is. And so this home comes out at an AVM price of around $340,000. So you know why it's not selling. It is overpriced. But then they cancel the listing with that agent, who, by the way, I think was doing a fine job of marketing it, but it was just overpriced, which is probably a seller's decision. And now they're going to play this game where we're going to list it for $199,000, get all of these people excited, come see our house, and hopefully get somebody who makes an emotional attachment to the house and goes over what they were wanting. And now if you're a seller, you're probably thinking, that sounds pretty smart, but I don't know, is it? Because not only do you have that, but to do an auction, all these auction companies want their 3% premium. So you're paying a premium to the listing agent, and then that listing agent's not going to pay the auction company. So there's another 3% that somebody's got to pay, which they actually make the buyer pay. So the home price goes up, and that makes it worse. So you just see, it's just all this money starts coming in. Everybody wants a piece of the pie. So seller ends up getting less, I guess. The buyer ends up paying more. It's just a terrible deal. And it kind of irritates me when I see these games. So enough of that. Thanks for listening. But so anyway, like I said, it just gets me because I really care about my buyers and I want to get them something nice. And when this happens, and I feel bad because I have to be the one to tell them that it's just a scheme. So anyway, hey, let's talk about what is happening in the real estate market and why my poor buyer can't find something that she likes. So here's the chart this week. So what is happening here? Okay, so inventory is, it's going up very slowly, but it's still so historically low. I mean, we should be, we're just over 3,000, when if we go back, we're usually up in this range, 5,000 to 6,000, sometimes up to the 7,000 mark. So it is not great. So we don't have a lot of inventory. And what is kind of interesting here is that our the pending sales has kind of slowed down a little bit. And I really think that has a lot to do with what's going on up here. As I keep saying, of course, what has happened, the median list price continues just to keep going up, up, up. It went down a little bit, but it's still median list price over $650,000. But check this out. And I can't wait to see what this happened. The rest of the story comes next week, because we had a huge jump in the median sales price. Now, this is fresh data. I will get all of the data next week when agents slowly start inputting their sales, because real estate agents don't always like to just jump on and say, hey, the house sold today. I sold one recently, and it took those agents like 3 weeks to finally report the sale. So anyway, it takes a little while to report that. I don't know what that's going to do, but boy, it sure took a jump this week. All right, so let's talk about what's happening here behind the scenes. So I want to talk about rates. The rates went up a little bit again this week. Let me pull it up over here. Rates were 6.78 last week, went up to 6.81. That's practically the same. So we are hovering just under 7%. That's just a number I think we're going to have to get used to. The Fed came out this week and raised their Fed funds rate, target rate, between 5.25% to 5.5%. Now, the Fed does not control mortgage rates. I say it all the time. They control their Fed fund rate, and then things kind of work from there. So investors see that and say, wow, if I could get X number of dollars returned by just buying bonds or something like that, government treasuries, then I want at least this for mortgages. And so mortgages are packaged up and sold to investors, and they want a certain percent, and that percent that we have to give them right now is 6.81%, basically. And so that is an open market thing. And so investors see what's going to happen, make a bet on what's going to happen, and already priced in mortgage rates. That's why mortgage rates didn't suddenly go up 0.25% because the Fed raised rates, because the Fed does not control our mortgage rates directly. So we've got that going on. Now, something that's been on my mind is there are a lot of people who took out home equity line of credits more than 10 years ago. I was in the industry back then, did a lot of home equity line of credits, talked to a lot of people that got them. Those line of credits, usually for the first 10 years, are interest only. They are tied to prime. Prime rate is usually about 3% over the Fed funds rate. So when the Fed came out this week and raised their rate, prime rate went up along with it. So prime rate's usually about 3% more. So right now you're looking at home equity line of credits are around 8.25%, 8.5% for those of you with really good credit. That is an adjustable loan. So we're talking about people who took out HELOCs way back in the day. They had the interest only period for 10 years. Now it's in the repayment period for 20 years. They're seeing their payment go up every single month, which could eventually have some effect on the market. Haven't seen it yet. There's always been talk about this shadow foreclosure going to happen with HELOCs, but nothing has happened yet. So along with the HELOC rates, we have to take a look at what's happening with regular rates, or your first mortgage rates, which we keep talking about. There just isn't the inventory happening right now because there are so many people with a fantastic rate who are saying, I'm not leaving my house because I have a fantastic rate. It's under 3%, and I'm certainly not going to go buy a house that is smaller for the same payment because now I have a rate at 7%. Not going to happen. So how many people actually have this wonderful rate? Well, they say about 23% of all home buyers have a rate under 3%. Now, it'll be interesting to see. I think a lot more people, that's going to be a very large section of people, are under 4% because that's just the way it worked out. You know, if you have a rate at 4%, it doesn't always make sense to refinance to get 3 or 2.9. They kept their 4, and 4 is still a fantastic rate. So still have a lot of that going on. Well, that was a long one. So, thank you for joining me this week, and I hope that you have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you here next week. Take care. Bye.